This meeting is being recorded.
So, hello. This is a meeting about non duality, very difficult word. It means not two, you could say that. And two is about right and wrong, and before and after, and inside and outside. And when there's me, I'm here, and this is my life, then everything seems to me and other persons, me and the world. And it seems like everything is happening to me and I have to deal with that. So, what can I do? That's most of the time the question. What can I do to deal with everything, to make my life more comfortable or happy, being loved? So, there's something not working for somebody. Um, and there's always the question why. There can be a feeling like when I know what's going on and I then maybe it will be better. So although also in these meetings when there's been a lot of searching and doing things to get your life on track and be in the good mood, things like that, then there's always a why, and there's always thinking there's something not right yet. And how can I deal with everything? How can I make it right? How can I fulfill myself? How can I finally be loved or have no me anymore? It's always that. And when there's that looking, there seems to be a search and a drive and a trying to get it right. And that the way it's been done is most of the time it's by thinking about it and trying to deal and a lot of thoughts. And when there's this kind of meetings, it seems like understanding is also one thing what we are used to do. And when they're saying that this is not about understanding, there's still that drive, that habit, you could say, that trying to understand or be clear about it, that's still going. So it's a drive. It's not you doing that, but that's a drive that it will go on. And it's not about knowing. It's not at all about knowing. It's about drinking water. So what is there about knowing? It's so simple and so ordinary and normal. And then there's that feeling, there's me, and there's the way that we can abstract thinking and we can abstract things and look at it and being able to, oh, there's somebody trying to get in and it's not working all the time. Trying to work it out, trying to look at it and deal with it. It's an endless search for something that isn't lost. But it's such a huge misunderstanding, but it's embodied. So it's not only that it can be seen like, oh, wow, there is no me. I can really clearly see that. And it's energetic. So it's not only about the inside that there's no me. It's energetic. So when there's that inside, that can be that drive that's embodied, that can be go on for a while or for a longer time. You don't know. And still there's that me that trying to survive, that trying that there's still not everything. There's still something going on, like it's not right yet. It's subtle. And it's very can be very subtle and very convincing. But and also when there's a really being clear about this message, it can be very convincing. It's like feeling everything is clear and it's like that. And still there can be subtle something going on, like trying to change things, being like saying like this is it, this is it, saying to that in their meetings they are saying, oh, this is it, but that can be picked up and grasped like, oh, that's what I'm going to say when there's something happening like really heavy feeling or something like that, then they're just saying like, yeah, but that's it too, things like that. And it seems to make it more comfortable or more not that strong anymore. When everything is lost, that trying to deal with it or trying to say something about it, it doesn't come up. So there's no escape in whatever is happening. It's the freedom that it's everything, and there's a freedom in that because there's nothing trying to change it, and there's nothing wrong about anything. And it's a longing for a lot of people, like, oh, I want that freedom, that really that wonder that it's everything. And in the same time, it's not, sometimes it's not seen that it's also no escape. So when there's pain, there's really pain full on. It's there, apparently there, and not in the same time. So that can't be described. But it's really full on. It's everything. They're saying it's about nothing and nothing being everything. And that sounds very attractive and abstract. But there's nothing happening. But in the same time, it's apparently everything. And it's felt like, whoa, it's there. So there's no escape from any feeling or from whatever is happening. But it's happening to no one. And that's also very obvious. It's not that it's seen or known. It's difficult to say. It's just obvious. And that's what already is the case. There's already no one. So there's no one inside. There's nothing inside. We assume that this body is real and inside I'm here and what is going on. That seems like in non-duality meetings, it seems like that's the cause of maybe things are not really going well. There's no cause for anything. There's no cause. That's the way the mind and that whole me construct is trying to deal with things and trying to name it and look at it. There's no cause or effect. That's just what's happening. And that's it. There's nothing more than that. There's only one. So cause and effect is already two. There's no two. That's only in the dream of me in the story. There seems to be everything is two. And there can be talking in the story, of course. But there's only one. There's moving the hand or a feeling or a chair. That's it. No one seeing that, no one feeling that, just sitting. That's it. Very simple, very ordinary. Nothing and nothing to focus on or to do something with that. It has no meaning at all. Life doesn't have any meaning. That's a joy because it's just what it is. Just going nowhere. There can be circumstances, but that's just circumstances, and they are an appearance. So they're real and unreal in the same time. So it's going nowhere. It's just that for no one. So this is in a way also incomprehensible. And it doesn't need to be understood. That's also a joy. That it is not about being clear. It's about isn't about anything. This is just a talking, and it's just that simple, like sitting, and that's it. Nothing to learn. It's already going like that. And the way you do it, or it's done like sitting or talking or moving or circumstances or tables, it's exactly like that. It can't be different. It's that. That's complete in what it is. So it's a misunderstanding that there's something wrong, but it's embodied. So it's not only here that you can say to yourself, oh, it's a misunderstanding. When it's embodied, it's more energetic. So it's, and that's life. It's life. There's nothing wrong with any feeling or anything what's going on. It's what it is. It's not about right, it's not about wrong, it's not about nice or awful. When there's looking at it, there's always trying to give it a meaning like, oh, this is awful, or I don't like it, I want something else, or things like that. That's whole the me and the whole story about what's normally we used to do that, and it's just the normal way seems like that. And then there's another possibility, like it has nothing to do with the story or with circumstance or what's going on. It's that there's no one, and there's nothing about right or wrong. It's just one. It's what's happening. And it's very normal and not special at all. So we can talk about that, and we can maybe or have something else that you think it's right. So we can no, not discuss, but talk about that. You can unmute yourself if you want to say something or maybe write something, and we'll see what happens. Ah, that's a whole question. How does one know when one has identified with a thought, and how does this identifying really look like? I wonder this because many different thoughts come to my mind, and some seem to be better, some less. How do I actually dis identify with thoughts, and which ones are healthy to disidentify from? I don't know. I don't know either. This is not about knowing, oh, this is good to do that. It has nothing to do with that because there's no one. That's the awful, in a way, it seems like awful because there's no one controlling it, or there's no one knowing what to do or not to do. And we are so into I have to know, or what is the best way of doing that. And oh, a lot of thoughts are crazy, so I need not to listen to them, and need to have more positive thoughts, maybe then my life will be better. It's always thinking what is the best way to do things, because it's so convincing and so embodied that there's someone having a free will and having uh, um, free will and choice to do things. And then there's this message saying, no, there's no one. Thoughts are coming just like that. And the thought, not any thought has any meaning. It's just thoughts. It's just a certain energy. There can be coffee or thoughts. It's the same importance. And for us, when there's me, thought seems one of the most important things, because that's the that's how we lead our lives, or how we choose, or how we do the right thing for us. It's a misunderstanding. Thoughts is just thoughts. They don't have any power. It's so convincing that they are the having the power to do and to the right thing, and just thoughts coming, or there are no thoughts, or there, and you can think, oh, I will think of it, and I will do it next time. I will do it differently. And then there was next time, and the thoughts didn't come. So like that, there's no control. It's energetic. How that works, I don't know. It's energetic, and that's how life works. It's a mystery. It's just amazing how everything is seen, and all those thoughts and everything is going on. It's a mystery. It's amazing. But there seems to be a logic, and finding the logic and finding your way. uh, The misunderstanding, and it's a huge embodied belief that there's someone that's leading the life and leading and taking care of things. And then there's this message saying, no, there's no one. So there's no control at all. Wow, but that's also the freedom that it's just going. But there's nothing leading it. Well, when there's that whole thing about I'm here and I'm leading my life, and this is the best way, and this is not a good thought, so I can choose to do things and things like that. It's always about right and wrong. And right and wrong is not something that's stable and you can rely on. It's changing. So it's an endless search about doing the right thing, and then it changes, like, oh, this is not right anymore, so maybe I do that, and maybe it's right, and then it doesn't feel like that. And it's an endless search and suffering about what's the right thing, and do I do it right, and endless going. It's a story and a dream of me trying to make things right, who are believed they're wrong. And that's the misunderstanding. There's nothing wrong. That's just what's happening, apparently. It's this moving the hands. We are so into looking at it, naming it, say, yeah, that's because of I have so pain, because she did say that yesterday to me, and I have to do something with that, and da 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 da. The whole story starts. There's only sitting and a feeling, maybe. That's it. No story. The story seems so important, so complicated. Where is the story? It's just a table and doors and bodies. It's that simple and literally. Yeah, okay. You can
Hi,
say
Rose. Hi.
hi, hello.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you too.
Do you, uh, uh, would you say something about what you just said earlier about one?
Hmm. Everything is one.
What is that?
We're always thinking in two, like good and bad, and before and after, and development, and trying to deal with things, so relations and all that. And then this message, or I'm saying there's only one, and that's, we're not used to that. Like, oh, one, but how can that be only one? There's just two always. So it can't be understood. But when there's one, there's only moving the hand, but there's no one looking at it. So it's also about there's no one. There's no one
Mhm.
looking at it or trying to do something with it. There's no one. There's just moving a hand, and that's it. That's life. And with people, we are so convinced that there's someone inside and looking at it or dealing with it or things like that. And then there's always two. And when there's two, there's suddenly always a feeling like, there's something missing, something not enough. And not for everybody, but there's something. So, but what is that? And you can't work it out. That's the
Mhm.
awful thing about this. It's just, and then saying there's one, yeah, this is not about understanding that, but they're saying that. And somewhere maybe there's like, oh, yeah, there's only that. Well, you can't, it's not about understanding or something like that.
Yeah.
Can be a resonance somewhere, but there's no one. It's that there's no one inside. So there's also no center, no control. And all those abstractions, what we are used to, responsibility, this is important. Because when there's someone, everything becomes important and real and solid. And it's not the trouble, but it makes it complicated and really like, oh, I have to do something about it. And it's very convincing. It's just not even convincing anymore. It's like that. Most people are thinking that. And
Mhm.
then there's another possibility, because there are a lot of people are trying everything already, and then maybe also in the spiritual things, and then it's endless looking for something and trying to heal, because it seems so strong that there's something wrong, something not complete yet or something. Well, it is complete. It's exactly the way the sitting is happening or the moving or tables. It's what it is. It's not nice or good. It's what it is. You can't do anything with that. But it's a bit like, oh, that can happen. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Rose.
Yeah.
It's hard to,
Mhm.
yeah, grasp it. You can't. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it. Mm.
yeah, yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. And another one. Does no good or bad as separation mean there's no relative good and bad? There's no good and bad at all. It's a construct. Like when there's a looking at everything, and when there's me, then there's like I'm the center and everything's happening to me. And when it's good, it feels good. I'm feeling good. And when it's wrong, I'm not feeling good. That's in the most simple way saying that. And in what way, relatively or absolute, I don't know. But it's like that. It seems always about me, and that's the center. That's the normal way of thinking about it. And then there's this message, oh, there's no one. And when there's no one, that whole construct about good and bad and right and wrong and all that two things just out of the window. Well, that's complete something else than what we are used to. No, it's not about a relative or a parent relative. That makes it complicated. It's what it is. So it's just very literally table, chair, feeling. That's it. That's what's going on. The wind, sounds, and that whole me, and that people can so good go into trying to deal with it and name it and thinking, oh, this is about that and this is about that. Yeah, it's a lot of knowing about that. Can be there, but it's useless. It's not wrong. And there's somebody saying, "Do you believe in the Holy Spirit?" Spirit? No, I don't know what's the Holy Spirit. I don't know what it is. It's just there's no belief in anything. It's everything is lost, and there's also no you. There's also there's nothing left. So there's also no Rose, and that's very difficult to explain. That we are so convinced that there's a body, and inside the body there's someone, and maybe we don't call it a center, but there's can be like losing the me, then there's Rose without a me or things like that. No, there's no Rose without a me. There's also no Rose. That's lost. There can be talking in the story about things that seems to happen, and that still can talking like that. But when there's really saying like, is there a Rose? No, that it's only one. So there's maybe moving a hand. That's it. It's very singular, very one. Not Rose living in a certain way. No, you can't. I can't explain how that is. I don't know how to say that. But there's one. This is nothing going on about Rose or Rose is not important. No, of course not. Nothing is important. It's the same as the floor. What is the difference? Yeah, it's different. Like there's a body and there's floor. It seems different, but that's it. There can be coffee or anything. Yeah, it's just coffee. And then there's people like, oh, but there may be preferences. There can be a preference coming up. Yeah, doesn't mean anything. It's not important. It can be like, oh, I want some coffee. So, and then they're saying, no, the coffee is finished. Ah, no, that's it. It's just normal. And it's like Also, like little children, they're really, it's direct, it's just full on, no escape. It's already there. It's already that. But, and it's everywhere like that. But on top of that, there seems to be a whole construct like beliefs, and that can be so strong and so seems so solid like that, convincing. They're saying something, people. And some people say coffee is healthy, and others say coffee is not healthy. Yeah, it's an endless game of saying this is better than that. It's endless, and then it can be like that, and then it changes, and then there's something else better, and then people have another religion and they say no, that's it's there's it's never ending story. It's never enough, it's never complete, it's always trying to find, and that's what's the me is trying to survive. So there's always something going, and when something is just maybe something, some concepts are lost, and there's something else going, like, oh, but this, but then how about this, and then it's going, and it seems so convincing. You can be so in it, it can be very clear in these meetings, and then suddenly woof, it's just being in it. And then, but that's what's happening, that's not wrong, it's not the me doing that or things like that that makes it complicated. It's just there being involved. Well, then that's what's happening. So what? It's just life. It's also life going, there's not someone doing that. Mm. So life is very simple. But for me, when there's me and trying to do the right thing, and it's important and serious, then it becomes something else. Seems to be that. It's a dream. Mm.
Yesterday I planned to go somewhere,
Mm.
but the command wasn't working, and also my Google Maps on my mobile phone wasn't working, so
Mm.
I didn't go there. And then
Mm. Yeah,
that's
can
so
happen. We're
funny.
so, yeah, we're planning everything, and then suddenly it goes some, yeah, it's amazing. Yeah. And I don't know why. It's just like that. Yeah. Mm. There's no reason. That sometimes you can, oh, but there's a reason for that. I don't know. It's just like that. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Hi, Rose.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. Uh, I still have a question in
Mm,
my mind.
yeah.
There still arise a question about
Yeah.
where did this me go during the sleep and
Ah,
how it's come back when we wake up.
yeah. Well, it's we talking about me in the story and feeling like there's seems to be a center, but it's me is a belief or a construct. So there's already no me. So in the night, the me is also not there, but also during the day, there's no me at all. But it seems like that because it's so convincing that we are so convinced that there's a center and that you feel some stress somewhere in your head, or that you feel like, oh, here is the me. And people see the center in the head or in the heart or in the, I don't know where. And then there's that feeling of there I can choose, or that's not only in the mind, but it's so embodied that there's a free will. So that whole thing about me seems to be there during the day. That's so convincing, but it's just maybe a feeling or some stress here, or thoughts coming. There's already no me, but that whole construct, that because we can abstract everything and we believe that's the me doing this, and or there's still that me going on, that seems so true, but it's just a dream and the belief that really is so, yeah, convincing in a way. And that's where we talk about. It's already there is already no me, so
Yeah,
it's not
I,
going anywhere. Yeah.
as I understand, there's a
Yeah.
contracted energy,
Mm,
and this contracted energy give arise to the sense of me. There is no me, but this contracted energy give this sense
mm.
that there's someone.
It's not in how I see it. It's not giving that sense. It's the interpretation that when there's that contraction or that feeling like somewhere in the head or somewhere, that's the me, and that makes it like, oh, then that's there's being being in that story. It's just a contraction. Can happen here too. Stress can happen, or like that. But that whole there's it's so difficult to say it. It's picking something is, yeah, that seems like it's really there. So talking in the story, it's all, you can't really talk about it in the story because it's not really like that. But when there's stress or when there's a contraction somewhere, that's just life. It's just energetic, and then then that abstract the abstract thoughts, they kind of like grasping it or picking it up and making it like, oh, what's going on here, oh, there's that me again, and all those thoughts coming. It's energetic, it's not me, but it's energetic, but it feels like, ah, this is me again, and I'm going, and because of the contraction then the whole thing is going. It's not really like that, but it's so convincing. There's just a contraction, and that is energetic. That can happen in the body or in space. Yeah. But it has no meaning. There's nothing, no why, no because. And we are so into that. And then you start like, oh, how can I lose that? Or how can I get rid of that? Or how can, now, whatever. Well, there's nothing to do. And there's also already no one, but there's not, it's a misunderstanding. But it's so convincing. It's so quick. Immediately there's those thoughts and they're really convincing. It's energetic. It's such a embodied belief. Well, it's just contraction. That's it. Or relaxation for no one. Just that.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Mm. No. Can you say something about money or the fear of losing it and the fear of not having enough? Well, it's the same. Like there can be a jump on, it can jump on money, it can jump on relations. There's the fear of losing it and the fear of not having enough. It's the fear of losing and not having enough. And that can jump on all those subjects. Relations are a really subject like, oh, fear not being loved, not having enough money. It's what power. Don't have any power, so I can't do anything. I feel powerless, or it's. But underneath, there's always something going on. Like, oh, there's not enough, and then there can be some subjects where it's really very strong, and other subjects you don't have anything about that. That some people don't have anything with money and just going, and then relation are really like, oh, then it's just going, and it's very energetic, trying to feeling I'm not loved, and am I good enough, and no, all that is going like that. And then there's coming into relation and the story of that. It's always the same story, but it feels so different, and everybody has a different one. But it's about not being enough, not having enough. It's not I'm not complete. This is not complete. The world is not uh, it's going to the end, and then wow, what's happening then? I'm losing everything. So what's happening now? It's always about when there's me. There's always that fear about losing everything. There's a longing for nothing, well, just like, oh, there's nothing going on and there's just everything, but it's an appearance and there's just nothing. But there's a longing for nothing, but also the fear for nothing. And that's constant, like, oh, I'm like, oh, that I can't go on. This is so heavy. I need to just relax and not do anything anymore. I don't want to be that involved in all those stories. And I finally like, oh my God, there's finally nothing going on anymore. And then suddenly there comes that fear, yeah, but what now? What next? I can't live like this not so much any longer. What's about the money and all that? And then that it's a circle and it's endless. And that's what we're so feeling like being in, sometimes can feel like in a prison, like doing that. And you can't come out of it when there's a story. It's always in the story, looking in the story, and it's never ending. It's a circle. So then there comes this message, and it has nothing to do with the story, but that's the only thing we are used to think about, and we can do something or thoughts, and we can imagine, but the real things. And this is about, and everything is an appearance, and there's already no control. It's like, oh my God, it's shaking to that whole building of me, you could say. Like, oh, this shaking that was so solid and safe, maybe, and really convincing, and there's shaking, or there's something underneath going, not that strong belief anymore. And then something else is going, but it's a loss. This is about loss. This is not about trying to find something. There's nothing to find. In the story, you could say it's in the story. It's about loss. But you can't do loss. You don't do that. It's just, it can happen. And when everything is lost, it's like, oh, it was already like that. Oh my God. It's a bit funny also. It's like, oh, but it was already like that. But I thought that I had all constructs about what's going on, and it was just a dream. Like, oh my God, it was just a dream. Didn't really happen. Wow, amazing. It's more that. And what we know it in a certain way, then when you have a fear for something to happen and it does happen, and it seems like, oh, is that it? So that's a bit, you could say a little bit like that. It's very simple and nothing to fear for. It's free fall. You could, and that sounds like, oh my God, fall. The word free is nice, but fall, I don't like that. But it's a way of speaking. It's just normal walking, and you never know what's going to happen, but that's already life. That's, you don't know. There can be an accident or pain or illness. I don't know. Yeah, of course, can happen. I don't know. But it's not happening to someone. That's it. So money, and I see it's the question was about money. Money is also energy. So it makes it, money seems like that's the way I survive. When I have money, I can survive. And when I have no money, so money seems to be the most important, or most on that moment, very important. It isn't. But yeah, when there's really into it and being busy with that, it seems like it's really important, and not having it. And oh yeah, it's easy to say it when you have money, then it's not an issue. Yeah, it's easy to say. No, when it's an issue, it can be really like, but it's with every issue. It's like, feels like so heavy and convincing, and a fear of not making it and things like that. But there can be fear. Then there's fear. That's it. Not because of no money. No, there's just can be fear. And then there's drinking water. And there can be a chair. That's it. Nothing makes your life work. Life is. It's going in a certain way, and it seems like all things going. That's it. Has nothing to do with us.
Rose,
Yeah.
it's when the feelings come,
Mm.
the me gets strong.
Can be, like there's
Yeah,
jumping on it and trying to
yeah,
say what it's happening there.
yeah,
Yeah. But it's just thoughts. It's just thoughts coming about that.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah. And they're not real. Those thoughts, they
no,
just
they're
come and
apparently
go.
real. Yeah, they're apparently real. So
Yeah,
not saying it's not real, it's making it like it's not there. It's there can be a lot of thoughts and being busy with what's going on and how is that happening and how can it go? I don't know, something like that.
yeah,
Yeah, can happen like that. But so what? It's not wrong. It's just that it's energetic. So there can be feelings, and then that's that energetic what's going on in the body in the story. You see, like oh, there's just a feeling, and that survival system. If there's talking in the story, they're so strong. So there's a feeling. Zoom, there's some that it's. Nah, yeah, it's not a habit, but it's really a deep belief how to deal with what's going on. So that's can be very much embodied. So there can be a feeling, and then jumped on that, all those thoughts, and then going about that.
yeah,
It's that's what's energetics going on. But yeah, then and after a while, it's something else. It's it's not wrong or right. It's just what's going on. It doesn't need to be different. Like oh, just the feeling. Let the feeling be without any thought. No, that's that spiritual thing that's going. No, when that's jumping on, then that's energetic. That can be so strong. So what? Then that's what's going on. Can be not feeling comfortable, of course. That's more it. But then that's it. Yeah. There can be certain patterns that can be so embodied, can be there, can be here too. Then suddenly there's something going on and there's thoughts coming and then the brain is, and I was like, wow, that's just going. And there's nothing, what here, it's just not, there's nothing doing it with something that's just not going. But the thoughts can come or emotions can be, and then their thoughts can come or the hears much about breathing, so that oh, like can't breathe anymore, like that, and that's
yeah,
and after a while, then it's gone. But it's so energetic that can be so embodied. There's nothing to do with me. Yeah, certain patterns can be in the body. Yeah.
yeah. Thank you.
Thanks. Mm. Running away from bad feelings is maybe not the best thing. That's yeah, that's a spiritual a way of looking at things. We think, yeah, it's better to feel everything. There are all kind of concepts and beliefs about what's the best way to deal with anything. Already there's no one, so there's no choice or free will to do that. And there's nothing wrong with, there's no running away. There's just feelings, and there can be a pattern like, oh, a lot of thoughts coming, and whoa, what's going on? And I don't want this, or what. Then that's what's going on. So what? It's not wrong. It's what's happening. Nothing is wrong. It's that. Yeah. You can't
Mm,
do anything about it. It's just that's coming. We are so into, oh, that's not the right way because it makes it more stronger. And then we know we figured out that it makes it stronger. So it's better to feel it and try. So it's convincing, that's what me does, that there's someone who can deal with what's going on,
mm,
and that there's a good way of doing that and finding it that will be a relief. And sometimes it's like that, so it's very convincing. But there's no one, it's just happening. apparently also even that. But there's just so there's nothing going on. So that that whole thing, that survival system with me on top, in that dream in the story, that seems so convincing, and it's constantly feeded by that. You can't do anything about it. It's not wrong, but it's explaining how that works. So it's not about having this is better than that. It's everything. And that's what happens in these meetings. There's no feeding of that whole construct about what's the best way, or what can I not do, or how is that without me, or there are no answers. Of course there are no answers, because it's everything. So there's nowhere to go. It's already that what's happening. That's the amazing thing of this message. It's already that. Nowhere, nothing else. So, well, we are so into, yeah, but this doesn't feel right, or it's better to do that. That's so strong, and that's that whole construct, country feeding itself, and it's energetic, like going on and surviving in that way. It's a survival system. And here it's saying, no, no, it's a story. Me is the feeling there's something wrong. Huh? That's completely out of the story. It's a longing to, there's nothing wrong with anything. That's, wow, there's a longing. But there's also a fear, but because it's about losing everything that we are, it seems like we have built up to deal with things, and it's going better now, and I've done a lot of work about it and things like that. Yeah, it's losing everything. That's it, too. That's the fear. Nothing left. And then, whoa, it's everything. It's just everything. Oh, oh. Doesn't matter what it is. Doesn't matter. It's naked. It's naked, but it's also full. It's empty, but it's full in the same time. It's complete. As it is. As it is. It's not full like, oh, I'm feeling so fulfilled. No, that's something else. That's what we think about it, or maybe we dream about it when there's a feeling of not enough, things like that. It doesn't feel like, oh, this is enough. No, there's nothing going on about it anymore. That's it. That's lost. Being busy with it. Is it enough? Is it there? Is this right or that? That's not happening. That's the only thing that's not happening. That what's happening, like sitting or being ill or anything, it's just going. It's just going on.
Rose,
Hi.
I know I keep asking the same questions over and
Does
over.
it matter? Does it matter? Of course. Yeah.
I feel stupid.
No, no, it's just how it goes. I know that. Oh God, no.
No, but I mean for a very long time.
Yeah, yeah, it's almost it's so many times I did have the same question. Oh wow. Yeah, of course. Doesn't matter. Oh.
Anyway, so all of this is coming in right now, like I hear the noise in the next room, the fires
Mm,
burn, yeah, the lights, the coffee tasting, and the
mm,
warm blankets, all of this is
yeah,
coming,
yeah, yeah. Well, that's it. Yeah.
but it's one.
But that's it. It's a warm blanket. It's warm. It's coffee. There's a sound. That's one. It's for no one. That's it. It's just that coffee, tasting coffee. Yeah.
But it's all coming all simultaneously, all these things, right?
No,
All of
it's not simultaneous. Oh,
it's not.
it's like it goes very quick, so you can't follow it. But it seems like oh,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so quick. So you can't follow it. Oh, so we can't follow doing in the now. That's impossible because it's too quick. It's just
Oh,
like that. So it's like
okay.
that. It's going by that, and you don't need to follow it or to feel it. Like, oh, do I need
Okay.
felt the taste? Oh God, there's already something else. Wow, it's no,
Yeah.
it's going by
Yeah.
itself.
It's too fast. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. But it doesn't need to follow. That's what we think because we are thinking, I am here and I have to do that. And when that's not there, it's just going like that. It's just
Yeah.
not being busy with anything. It's just going. Yeah, yeah, but that's it. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Good. Good.
Good.
Good. Yeah.
Thank, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Mm. Oh. There's a chat. So there's a body and thoughts, but they are not connected, even though it feels like that to the me. Yeah, and they're also an appearance. Oh, wait. So it's everything is an appearance, so it's not solid and real. It's energy in energy. It's moving in that sense, you could say. But there's no connection. No, that's what comes up when there's me and feeling like there's that survival system, and on top of that me, and then there's that thinking about, oh, how is the connection between me and that feeling or another person or circumstances. But that's the abstract mind who can think like that. Animals don't do that. They can't. They don't have that. So they're just it's just going. And in people it's also just going. But that whole in that, yeah, how do you say, in the mind, it seems like a mind with a lot of thoughts and there's something happening. It's a dream. So there's nothing with connection or that's made up, but it's so convincing. We can imagine how that works. So there's already no me also. So they're just thoughts happening. It's energetic. Everything is energetic, but it's not like this is the border and I am here, this body, and this is Rose's body, and inside there's Rose. The body seems like there's a border, but that's because we can see that, and you see like those borders. If you close your eyes, you don't even know. So it's that seeing is very strong, and it confirms that there's a border. This is my body, and this is your body, and my feeling, and your feeling. It's very convincing. Feelings happening in space somewhere, thoughts happening in space. It's just energy going somewhere. Sound, sometimes you don't know where the sound comes from. It's looking like, oh, where is it? Feel it. Sometimes you can feel it here. So we want to have that it's solid and real, and that it feels safe to know that it's my feeling, and it's not nice because a lot of feelings seems not nice and you want something else. So that makes it a very struggle to deal with it. It's not even yours. It's just happening in space somewhere. Like in a funeral, there can be a lot of crying. You don't even know the person who died. And there's suddenly sadness can be there. It's just happening in the room or in the space. Thoughts happening, feelings. It's not yours. Nothing is yours. There's no me, but it's also not happening in the body. So talking about connections is already then a bit like, what are we talking about? It's just not even what with me with no, there's no connection. It's just what's happening, apparently, also. So it's an appearance that's amazing, that everything seems so solid and real and so convincing that you touch it and it's real, or you feel it and you make it think. The only thing you can have then is that it's real, a real feeling. And then there's this suggestion like, oh, it's not, it's even apparently real, it's felt, sure, it's felt, but in the same time it's not there. Huh? What is that? Yeah, can't explain that. So the unreal or the nothing, that the fear is for that. When there's everything is solid and real, that feels a bit like safe, and walking on the floor, that's really solid, and my house, and I know it will be there again, and maybe not, but okay, and then suddenly it's not. So that's a big thing, of course, but doesn't matter. It's just like it's not solid, it's not real. But you can't say that to yourself because that's a new concept. It can be suddenly like, oh, it isn't real. I was suddenly, a long time ago, suddenly walking through the floor, and I was like, what? Hey, what's going on? I walked through the stones, was it in somewhere? The street is not real. That's so strange. It wasn't even frightening, but huh? Is that possible? I wasn't even aware that it could be possible at all. And then suddenly it was there, and then completely forgot also, but not completely, but most of it. Yeah, everything is an appearance. Wow. So it's going nowhere. It's just like that, and then it's new, and I liked it, and it's new. Just like that, without any meaning. It's just like that. Like that. Woo.
Yes, sometimes there is still a kind of a wish that uh, I, I don't know how to say this, that that there is a mindfulness teacher at my work, and I know that it's really not working, but sometimes there is still a wish that that they know that it's not working at all.
That he knows that,
Yes, he.
or she.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Hard luck, maybe.
yeah.
Because a lot of time when people are really convinced in something, that most people, that's so, when there's a belief, that most of the time it's so strong. It cannot be like, oh, you don't know, but beliefs are very strong. And why should you? Well, it's
Mm-hmm.
just, well, then there's that belief. So what? Then people do that. I don't, yeah,
Yeah,
that's what's happening. It's not their choice to do that. It's not wrong. It's really convincing that that's going. You could be busy with everybody, because there's being busy with money is really important. And then no, but it's not. You can't. Well, what's going on? It's
yeah,
endless.
but
Yeah,
that's I recognize that because it feels
yeah.
like, or it seems like it's in the school system that
Mm. It's a new belief that you know that it's like something else, and then yeah, it's no, it's just that when people are like that, it's just that. Why is
Mhm.
there's nothing wrong with that? That's the most powerful thing of this message. It's not about there's no saying to somebody is no one or things like that. No, there's nothing wrong with anything. It's just that. Then people are really convinced. So that can be like that, and then maybe there's a discussion or not. I don't know. But so what? It's not. Nothing is wrong. That's something. That's really like wow.
Yeah, but it's
Yeah.
more that I have my own experience with it, that
Mm,
it's
yeah.
yeah, that it
It's not working for you. No. No.
yeah, and
That's it.
it's more further away from that's what is than
No, nothing is further away or
nothing is further
closer.
away. Okay.
No, that seems like no, but because it's very tempting to think like, this is more close and I'm already, yeah, there's a lot of things going and now it's much more closer. And now it's so convincing. I know that. And it has nothing to do with close. It's either there or not. It's just that there's nothing in between. There's no development. But there's also nothing wrong with anything. It's not about, oh, the best is know me anymore. That's also no. There's already knowing. So there's nothing to do or nothing to develop or talk about, because it's that what's happening. Where do we talk about? Then there's a lot of belief. Then that's what's happening. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't. It's just life going in that way, like that. So what? It doesn't go anywhere. This is not more important than that, or more serious, or whatever. No, that gives it meaning, and then there's no meaning. It's just what's going on. So that's the freedom. Also, that's just that. Oh, so what? Yeah. And also, what was happening here or there, it's exactly that. And there can be thoughts like that. And maybe there can be going to someone. Okay, and that's what's going on. So what? Yeah. Nothing wrong with that too, of course. Going nowhere, but so what?
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, it doesn't work.
Yeah. It seems like that. Mm, yeah. Mm,
Yeah, thanks.
yeah. Mm. It's just this. It's this already. And this is not saying to yourself this or that. It's the hand, it's what's going on. It can be warm, it can be seeing an orange. It can be coughing. It's everything. And that's the joy, that's the freedom, that's everything. And it's not seen by someone or felt by someone. It's empty. Everything is empty. It's just apparently happening and going nowhere. And it's that what seems to happen. So moving, sitting, it's drinking, it's tables, it's everything. And it's a wonder of what is. It's just, and it doesn't mean it has to be all the time a wonder. When it's very neutral also in the same time. It can be a wonder, it can be irritation, it can be seeing dirt. It's everything. And there's nothing more important than anything else. That's a joy. It's just, I am not important. This is not important. It's just what's going on. There can be something here going on or at the table. It's that. That's the freedom. There's no my life. There's just life happening by itself and very normal, very already what's going on. So there's no new way or trying to find peace or feel what's going on. It's what already is going, what already is happening. That's so there's no need to look for it because the looking for it is already there. So it doesn't matter if there's a looking for it because that's the looking, is it? So it doesn't matter what's going on. And there can be a feeling like, oh, this isn't it. And I want to say that to somebody else. Then that's what's going on. Those thoughts can come. And maybe there's something doing or not doing. That's what's happening. So it's already what's going on. That the sitting and the looking is it. It can't be not it. It's already everything. That's the joy. Thank you. Thank you. Let the computer stop recording.